Again, 8 laps and 9 meters for the mile here at the Norton Healthcare Sports and Learning Center in Louisville, Kentucky.
It's great to be with you.
Out front early is Mac Conwell. He's a freshman for North Carolina. He's run 4:06 and probably instructed to set things up for Aiden Neal with a quick early pace. Wes Porter running second for Virginia. Wes Porter, now a senior for the Cavs. He ran sub-4 very early in his Cavalier career. So he's been consistently under the 4-minute mark for the last 3 years.
I recollect with Porter, we called him a lot last year in Atlanta, 6 in the 1500. The NCAA outdoor meets as well, part of that DMR title team for Virginia, and ACC indoors a year ago for Porter.
It's been a good, solid cross-country runner for Van Manana as well.
No question. With Conwell out in front to get this heat underway, followed by Porter. Wancho for Virginia in the mix with Aiden Neal, as we referenced, ran at 3:56, good for 15th at the Terrier Classic. 8th in the mile in UNC history for Aiden Neal.
Just last night, Porter, by the way, ran 3:56.7 on the anchor of the DMR. The fun thing about that was he wasn't the fastest. Somebody ran 3:54, but great DMR last night. And that's always interesting. I've had a few guys over my career run this kind of triple where you run an anchor DMR, trial miles, final miles, and you have to have strength to go 3 hard miles 3 days in a row. So Porter running on the inside right here, you know, trying to hopefully he can qualify as easily as possible after a quick mile last night, and sure to be a quick one tomorrow. But the freshman continues to lead for UNC. That's Mac Conwell. And the Virginia Tech runner, Rowan Kelly, moving up 2:02.5 at 880 yards.
And for Kelly, his mom ran at Buffalo. Ran up Central High School, was a 2024 New York State champion in the 4x4 for Rowan Kelly.
Garrett Brown on the outside in the orange for Clemson moves into 4th or 5th place. That was a typical freshman move. He made one big move of about 5 or 6 meters, but doesn't take the lead. And now who does take the lead, or trying to take the lead, is at 1. It's William Winter, another freshman from Virginia Tech. He's run 4:01. And he bolts pretty strongly his last lap. We'll get that for you in a second.
For Winter, ran at 4:01 at the Virginia Tech Challenge for the Michigan native. Out in front.
He just surged to about a 32nd 200, so getting it back kind of around 4-minute pace. But they're going to come back and eat him up. You can watch Neal on the outside.
Yep, Neal spot on.
Yep. Neal Porter, your favorites. At the 3 quarters, 3:05. So it had slowed down. I think that's why those eager freshmen tried to pump the pace a little, because it just had started getting slower. Something that Porter and Neal want if they get the auto cue.
Wancho on the outside too for Virginia.
Yeah,
goes from 3rd. Wancho trying to get to 2nd.
Wancho very capable.
Still Neal out in front here for North Carolina at the bell.
Wancho has a PR of 3:59.59, or seasonal best anyway, and here they come.
Top 2 in each heat, plus the next 2 best times.
Neal just
advancing to the final.
Neal just put down 28 seconds for the last 200. Here comes Wancho.
Neal,
and now Porter fighting his teammate for that auto cue.
And Porter, see Neal still out in front, but then here comes Porter on the outside.
Neal, Porter 55, just like Itamar.
Respect. 2 very fruitful trips to Boston lately. Ran the first leg on the Wake DMR team that clocked at 9:17.17. Last week at BU, he ran a 3:55 mile at the same track the week before. Wow. Respect.
Respect, one of many Deacon athletes that had the happiness of winning ACC cross-country title just recently. Didn't get it this year, but then they come back and run well on the track too. Coach Hunter's had a nice job down in Winston-Salem. They'll be hosting the ACC outdoor meet come May. Specht on the outside. Pittsburgh's Wilson running up near the front. That's Finn Walsh. Finn Walsh now on the outside in 2nd. Joe Sapone, a North Carolina Tar Heel, has run 4:02 on the inside. And now people getting a little anxious as it was a fairly slow first 400.
So Walsh out in front, and Hammer is in second. Sapone are now setting the pace from Atlanta, run a 4:02. Henry Valentine Invitational.
How slow was that first 440? 64.
Oh, wow.
I don't think any of these guys are going to run 4:16, but that's the pace they're on. Coming up on 660 yards now and roughly 137, so still pretty slow. Well, they did pick it up a bit. They might have run 32 on the last lap, 32 mid on the last lap.
Caden Carney from Cal, first time tonight. We're calling a Cal runner. We welcome Cal, SMU, and Stanford to the conference, the first conference meeting. I said this last night, but speaking to the Cal staff prior to the meet, it's the first time they're coming east of Albuquerque. So enduring all the travel, in particular for Cal and Stanford.
Idemar and Specht in the top three, as we predicted. Actually, they're first and second right now. Idemar on the inside in the maroon and white, and Specht in the gray and black for Wake Forest. 2:09 halfway. So they've actually slowed even more. This is very much a walk for some of these guys. We should see fireworks in the next couple laps. Who will move first? You got your two leaders up front, though, forming a wall against all the other guys that want to. Third's not going to help. They're not going to qualify in this heat, except unless you get the auto cue in first and second.
See, Sapone is running third right now, headlined by Specht on the outside. Virginia Tech right now on the inside. Also see Syracuse on the outside as well.
And this, it's still Idemar and Specht, 1-2 in those auto qualifier positions. Coming up on 2 to go. They can't really possibly run fast enough in the last 2 laps to break the bubble time if you're in third. Although the UNC athlete is trying to do that. Simone, here goes Specht. Specht opening up Sapone, excuse me. Now Idemar has to be careful. Idemar is now in fourth. He's got some work to do. And the Stanford runner, Zane Bergen, now moving nicely. Zane Bergen looking best of all. Zane Bergen in third, Idemar in the lead, Specht in second. Zane Bergen of Stanford, he's run 3:58.59. No surprise he's there. Last 100 meters.
Watch him fly here on the outside. Still Specht, a little bit of a push there here in this final turn. Specht on the outside, takes a look around him.
And the Bergen, the Idemar Specht wall in the DMR. Steve Jackson is the man of the hour. He has the fastest time coming in. He's clearly the favorite. He's run 3:52.71. He's wearing hip 2 for Boston College.
I believe Jackson's the 7th fastest time in the nation in the mile.
That's true. Seventh fastest in the nation, first fastest here among the entrants in the mile.
Yeah, Jackson really presented with a golden opportunity to pick up his first ever ACC title. We can't state that enough, especially one as you documented for the outset of the heats without Ethan Strand and Gary Martin in the mile. No scholarships at BC. I remember talking with Pete Watson about that.
Billy Atkinson of Virginia, your early leader.
Shout out to legendary commentator Larry Rawson, the BC class of '63, taking this in with a lot of interest for the Eagles.
Jackson having ultimate confidence with his 3:52 PB. I see he's right in the middle of the pack right now. Actually, he could be in a better position, but he knows when he puts the hammer down, he's got real speed against these guys. 59.8 at the 440 yards.
And for Jackson, the first runner in BC history last year to run a sub-4-minute mile at 3:57 at the Terrier Classic. Just we continue like turning the page and strengthening that BC program for Pete Watson.
Still the 2 Virginia runners Sikorsky and Eliason up front. And now moving up for Notre Dame is Drew Griffith. And the Cal athlete now moves into third. That is Garrett McQuitty. And Garrett McQuitty has a 3:57.65 PR, so he certainly belongs near the front. McQuitty there in the Golden Bears top with the black strip across his nose, running comfortably now in about third place. And you see Jeremy Kane of Duke also in the mix. They slowed down quite a bit in that last quarter. They went 2:06.5 at 880 yards. That's why the pack is bunched up so much. Now Atkinson of Virginia getting in the mix.
Remember McQuitty for Cal. They went 1-2 at the USF Invitation the cross-country season. He and Cadre Denker, first 1-2 punch to finish the first time since 2018 for the Cal men's program.
Scott Sikorsky still leading for UVA. Drew Griffith of Notre Dame now in second. And Eliason of UVA also in there. And now you see McQuitty. He's running wide though. I mean, he's been in lane 2 for about 440 yards now.
Sure. So Sikorsky, Griffith.
This is super tight. Remember, off a slow pace like this, we're probably only going to take 2 to the final.
Watch Eliason too, Norm. Here with 2 laps to go.
And yeah, there's not going to be. They have to run 51.5 on the close to get beyond it, but here goes Jackson. As we said, the 3:52 confidence is always there. Your number 1 seed running away here in heat number 3.
St. John's prep star from Reading, Massachusetts there for Jackson at the bell. Sikorsky second right now. Also see Benjamin Reynolds as well coming up for Virginia Tech. It's Reynolds now running 2.
McQuitty in third.
Yeah.
You would probably think McQuitty should be in an auto position. Here he goes trying to get that. Steve Jackson, an easy winner, and eased up.
How about McQuitty?
McQuitty comes on. I said you wouldn't expect him to not. JoJo Gordon has run 3:56.37, but Anderson's run 3:54.12. So you would pick those 2 guys out of this heat.
Broke the 4 in the mile during the senior high school track season last spring.
Getting to be a little more common now. For a long time, there's only a few individuals on the planet who did that in high school.
To see a lot of sub 4-minute miles across this great conference.
Jack Henske of Notre Dame taking the early lead.
So that bubble time, Norm, just to remind everybody, 4:02.99 from Leo Young.
So this heat has to know that it's in their best interest to run fast. We'll see if they follow that. So far, so good. They're out pretty quick. They were 29.4 at the 2:20. Now coming up on 440 yards. And that split 57.5. So this one's rolling a bit, which is good news for everybody except Leo Young. 401.86 is Wachter with Young, 402.99. Those are the 2 that are in danger here.
Also, Norm, watch out for Dalen Ackley, too, in this heat. 5th in this event last year at the ACCs that were called up in Boston.
And Ackley's run 3:58 this year. Yeah. So got all these sub 4-minute milers. And bubble times of 401.86 and 402.99 out there to claim if they can keep the pace honest. So far, not so good. They probably slowed a little bit later, 31 and 30 seconds on that last lap. But still on sub 4-minute pace up near the front.
See Ryan Falk's also there for Virginia Tech. His uncle Tom is a tennis guy, was a professional tennis player.
Coming up on the halfway right here at about 159, 2 flat.
Here comes Ackley.
2 flat, 0.8 at 880 yards.
4 laps to go. In this final heat, give up bubble time at 402.99 for Leo Young of Stanford.
So these several guys that have broken 4 minutes in this heat, they're going to have to press it pretty close to max here to have some time qualifiers out of that. That's obviously not the concern of the 1st and 2nd place guy, but when it's this close, everybody's going to have to run fast at the end if they want to get into the final.
Jordan, the Salt Lake City native, is in third right now. Great shot by our crew. Ackley in first. Anderson in second for Syracuse and Brian Bell's program. Also Virginia Tech with Fouts running fourth here in this heat.
Of course, the fastest indoor miler of all time, hailing from Notre Dame just a few years ago.
Final 400.
A great runner for Notre Dame, Yared Nuguse, who just set the world record in the mile a couple weeks ago at the Millrose Games. There were 3 flat .5, so they're going to have to go 56, 57 to get some guys into the final other than the top 2.
Still headlined by Ackley here, followed by Benna Anderson.
Joe O'Jordan and Ryan Fouts battling it out for that 3rd spot or trying to get into that top 2.
It looks like it's still Fouts here at the bell. Notre Dame out in front with Ackley. Anderson is in second. We'll watch out for that bubble time. I don't know if we're going to get anybody in there.
Jordan really needs to go after Anderson if he wants to get in. Joe Jordan of Wake. And now our top 2, Ackley and Anderson, separating themselves. You can see the Wake runner, Jordan, kind of flailing. The lead runners look back. They've got their auto cues. They're under 4 minutes. Ooh, very close. I think they're going to get in.
Florida State. Heat number 2 off and running. Bernard Thompson, Wilson, and Bob on the outside for Virginia Tech.
Wilson making up the stagger in lane 5. Bob
still up front.
Well, actually, looks like she's going to get first to the break. 24-17, faster than Heat 1.
Yep. It is Bob, then Wilson, followed by Thompson of Clemson and Bernard of Boston College.
Wilson trying to go outside in the backstretch, the right place to pass. You don't want to have to do it on the turn, but it looks like it's going to have to happen that way because Bob's holding it off.
Yeah, she is. Snore up successfully. Bob trying to close out in the second heat, followed by Wilson.
Very nice run by.
Good start on the outside, to your point, for Takaya Ferguson of Florida State.
Ferguson definitely with a better start. See if Goen can come back on her. Goen running a very nice curve now. And she will have the slight edge on Ferguson. Also running well is the the Miami athlete, Janae Moore. Goen in the lead at the 200, running 25:01.
Ferguson's holding second right now to Moore in third for Miami. It is Goen out in front for Duke. See how she handles this curve.
Very well.
Yeah, very successful.
Goen's got a great shot of it getting to that top 8. Watch her closer. She's going to run a seasonal best, I think. 54:02. It is a seasonal.
Start for McGinnis. Martin, just a sophomore for North Carolina.
McGinnis is out well. Williams also hanging in there. Williams now making up some ground as they head into the turn. And Williams is now in the lead.
Martins is out in front. Martins is in first, followed by McGinnis.
Martins of North Carolina.
24:79 there. Martins still leading, followed by McGinnis. Then it goes Drakeford for Virginia, followed by Collins.
Well, this is clearly 2 separate races here. One for first and one for third.
Yep.
McGinnis now trying to slingshot off the curve over Martins.
It is McGinnis. Megan McGinnis will take this heat.
Megan McGinnis running a lot closer to the. Do that every day.
Can't wait to see him a little bit later. All right, heat number 1.
Out well in 5 is Zachary Ryan. With Krasulis also running competitively. In fact, all these guys are good. The Virginia runner is doing great in lane 4. And Ryan is in third at the break. Tightly packed.
Krasulis out in front. How about the split he had? 46-74 in the DMR game that you were speaking of.
That's right. That's about right for a guy who's ranked 47.5, 46.74 on with the stick.
That's White that is in second, as one pointed out, for Virginia, followed by Ryan.
Ryan's in trouble. He's not going to the final.
Priscillis, can he hang on here against Evans? Malone's at lane number 4. Harrington in 5. Anderson on the outside for North Carolina.
Harrington out very well in lane 5. He's going to look like he's going to be first to the break.
He was a state champ at the 400 back in Illinois.
Veteran for the Hokies. And able to run on their great indoor facility every day, so he knows these turns and boards. But now coming back is Anderson. Anderson
getting to that outside.
Anderson doesn't get it done on the outside. He's going to have to wait to slingshot over the final turn.
Harrington still out in front, followed by Anderson, then Malone.
Harrington, Malone coming on in the inside.
Come on, Malone.
46 in out of this heat. I think so.
Got the Jamaican runner Ham also in the mix, along with North Carolina as well. It is Lincoln out in front. A good start for him, followed by Good.
Watch this curve for Good. He's already made up a little bit, but not maybe enough to take on Lincoln. Here comes Good, trying to challenge Lincoln, but Lincoln will get first to the break. Going out.
Good
21-55.
Multiple records for the Cal program since he's been with the team, coming from San Mateo. It is Lincoln out in front.
He sure looks determined, but Lincoln is in great shape too. I think they're both going to run very fast.
These are going to be really good times.
Lincoln tying up a little bit in the last 20. Runs 45.69.
They'll both be in there comfortably.
Yes. 40 rounded up to 68, rounded down to 68. Good 46.01. So Good, the third fastest time. Ricketts a senior, Wilkerson a sophomore. So Ricketts gets the experience nod. But Wilkerson out very well. Now here comes the chance to make it up on the curve for Ricketts. And Wilkerson will be first to the break.
Wilkerson there to lead,
21-46 at 200.
Yep, Ricketts. Quitties in third for Boston College, followed by Maximus James.
Wilkerson still leading, final turn.
Can they bubble time at 47.40.
They play the cards like they both get in.
Wilkerson will definitely be there. And the same with Ricketts. It's time for Mosebi. Also Jaden Rollins. It is Mosebi. Rollins.
1-2 for the nose. Star Price definitely one of the favorites to win this. Probably more so than Lauren Tolbert. And then Star Price's grandparents on the plane on the way into Louisville.
That's awesome. Hopefully you gave them some good recommendations here. We know your music choice has been spot on throughout the championships. It is Tolbert out in front here for Duke.
Tolbert often goes to the front. But Star Price has got savvy for Virginia Tech. 29.8 to 200 meters. That's a sub 2-minute pace. Not that it's going to go that way the whole way. But Tolbert making an honest effort early, and that might help somebody else get qualified. We take the top 2 plus the next 2 best in the 800 heats.
Tolbert last year 8th at the NCAA meets.
And Star Price right behind her.
That's what we thought.
Tolbert Price 60 seconds at 400 meters. Tolbert with the white pigtails. Well, the white bands to tie the pigtails back. Star Price right behind her.
5,800 runners are in the top 14 nationally. That's how stacked this conference is in the 800. This is the first heat. It is led by Tolbert.
600 meters, right about 131. They're right where they want to be. They're going to run maybe 202 or 203 here. Again, Tolbert's best 202.7. Star Price 201.17. Star Price should be within herself. Tolbert looks determined to run all the way through. So maybe she can PB here in the trial round. Last 20 meters, she's going to be a little off that. Hudson at BC in third, and she's going to run fast too. 2-0. Willis and Chepnagenic here in heat number 2.
Sovetska is on the outside. She's our 14th best 800 nationally for Clemson, along with Hernandez. In the mix here, Cassidy Scott, Lakari, also featured for Virginia Tech. Chepnagenic.
Willis out well on the inside. She's going to be leading at the break.
You mentioned Willis. You know, some consider her like the greatest prep athlete in Wisconsin history. That is across all sports by many people who follow Wisconsin athletics. For Roisin Willis. 4th best ACC time coming in, 12th nationally for the 7-time All-American. She was the Pac-12 800 champion.
Willis has got quite a list of credentials, no doubt about that. And I'm sure she's glad she's spending her winters in Palo Alto rather than Madison.
That's true.
Susie Hamilton might disagree with the best in Wisconsin history, but Roisin certainly off to a great start in her junior year here now at Stanford. Again, 2:01.45, and Gladys Chepnagenic right with her. Hernage's best 2:01.64, so they're 2/10 apart on the list. Chepnagenic looking very calm and relaxed, but so is Willis. Well within themselves. Here they come to the 600, and they're going to be slightly slower than the last heat.
For Willis, her mom Rita was an outstanding distance runner, running in the 5K and the 10,000 in the Sydney Games for Ireland too. So just following in the footsteps of her mother here for Roisin. But how about Chepnagenic as well for this 800?
Chepnagenic into the lead. And looks like she's going to pull away here in the last 20 meters or so.
Top 2 will advance, and we will see Chepnagenic and Willis tomorrow in the 800 final.
Qualifying is actually winner and the next 3 best times, so second is not in order.
Correct. All right, so Swanepoel comes in with the 4th best ACC time at 1:47.44 to Tiger Paul. Seeing him in heat number 2.
Ryan Farrell with the early lead for the Cardinals. The Cardinals, excuse me. We have to be clear when we have Stanford in there.
That is true.
The Louisville Cardinals, Ryan Farrell leading early. And he's followed up by the Notre Dame's Zach Hughes, a senior for the Irish.
And Farrell was 17th at the ACC Outdoors in the 800 that we called in Atlanta, the native of Cheshire, Connecticut.
Running third for BC, that's James Joyce.
Gotta love the support for the student athletes too in the 800. So you have the Louisville faithful cheering on.
Ryan Farrell now leading still on the 3rd circuit. We have 4 laps of the 800.
And Hughes is in second. He transferred in from North Carolina State to this Notre Dame program.
Honest 52.97 at the 400. Not quite as fast as Kawhi, but not very slow, that's for sure. 600 meters in 1:20.
At the bell, here we go.
If he can kick sub-30, they're going to be the fastest of the 2 heats.
Number an AQ for that top spot in the backstretch here for Ryan Farrell of Louisville.
Farrell runs
Here comes Davis as well for Virginia Tech. Strong surge by James Joyce, but it's all Farrell right now of Louisville.
Farrell's going to get the auto.
Watch Joyce in second too, Norm, but it's going to be Farrell that gets that AQ, you're right.
148.
He's going to get second here.
Final. Yeah. That was a really good run by Farrell. Here's Christian Jackson of Virginia Tech. He has run 147.18. And Regane of Carolina, wearing hip 3, has run 48.58. But you got to like Christian Jackson of Virginia Tech in this second heat.
Yeah, Regnier was 5th last year as a freshman at 148.33. Jackson was 3rd last year at indoors that we called in Boston. DeCambray also in the mix here with Herrera.
Ron Kelly in the early lead for Virginia Tech. Ron Kelly, a freshman for the Hokies. 24 high, I think, at 200. 25-2 at 200 for Kelly.
From Randolph, New York. He was the 2022 AAU 1500-meter champion. For Kelly, who's out in front here.
Swainpole still hanging back. We have to think the lead for Virginia Tech is pacing, being a freshman.
Yeah.
He's only run 154. But, and now he's been passed.
Christian Jackson in good positioning as well for the Hokies. They're a 1-2 with Jackson to Cameron. And North Carolina with Regnier is in third right now.
Foster Shelbert is running for Wake Forest, not Swainpole. He was in the previous heat.
Well, it's Jackson out in front from Stafford, Virginia. Third best ACC time coming in at 1:47.18 at the Virginia Tech meet.
Here comes Regnier. He better move soon. Andrew Regnier is known to have a great closing kick. And sure enough, well, he hasn't got by him yet.
Yep. Still Jackson into Cambrai.
Only the winner goes automatically.
Jackson still out in front.
They are running fast.
Cambrai in second. It will be in the 800. 8th fastest time. Second best ACC mark, coming in 20th in the nation. 8th at the NCAA meet last year. And there's Connor Murphy as well for Virginia.
Plant and Murphy have met before in ACC 800s. Plant, now a junior. He was a very hotshot freshman and then had a great sophomore year as well. Connor Murphy has experimented with the mile some, and now he is back in the 800. As the mile has been rather difficult of late in the ACC.
That's for sure.
Murphy has great talent and ability to kick, for sure. And we have the Clemson runner, hip number 2, Gabriel Ludwig, leading early. He's a senior for the Tigers.
That's from the 4x4 relay team for Clemson. Did not finish in the 800. The Tiger Paul coming in to the meet. Schumacher is in second. For Notre Dame, Nicholas Plants. We'll keep an eye on him on the inside for Tech in third right now.
Plant,
Trotter on the outside.
Plant pretty well boxed, unless he can get through on the inside. That's always risky. And Plant's in a jam, but he's well ahead of Murphy, who is sitting in
He's got some
sixth.
space here to get to the outside on the backstretch for Plant. And takes the lead.
Yeah, Plant got out of it. Watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat. Plant, is Murphy going to move up? He's going to run out of real estate if he does it.
And at the bell.
Murphy now moving into fourth. Here comes Murphy down the back stretch. He has the speed to do this, but Plant has put this thing away, I think. Plant not getting nervous in the pack.
Murphy will be in second.
The thing is, second isn't good enough if you don't run fast enough. Very good time.
Plant
And Murphy and a quarter. 7 meters 56 for the sophomore from Virginia Tech, Nathaniel Paris. I recall Paris very fast down the runway, yes. But he leans forward quite a bit.